Let's start with the video, Chapter 106 Summary. The door is forcefully pushed open, revealing a prestigious-looking man in his 60s or 70s. Joe recognizes him as Ming's grandfather. Ming's mother tries to alleviate the situation, but Ming's grandfather ignores her, focusing on Joe's tear-streaked face. Ming's grandfather scolds Ming for crying and not eating, then turns his attention to Joe. He dismissively calls young love stupid and tells Joe to leave, considering it a family matter. Ming refuses to let Joe go and Mike intervenes, persuading Ming to let go. Joe feels overwhelmed and leaves, despite Ming's protests. Joe cries the whole way home, questioning his decision. He falls into a deep sleep and wakes up with a migraine. He sees Ming in his mind and hears Ming's voice. Ing is awake, and instead of asking about Joe's swollen eyes, she shows him old family photos and talks about his late father. Ing tells Joe she regrets her harsh words and asks if he likes Ming. Joe avoids the question, and Ing expresses her concern that Ming's family might not accept him. Days pass, and Joe stays home, avoiding friends' calls. Ing eventually hands Joe a mirror and tells him she's worried about his well-being. Joe reassures her, but he knows he will never love anyone as much as Ming. The long-awaited call from Ming never comes, but Mike visits Joe instead. The moment Joe opens the door, he is overwhelmed with emotions. If you like this kind of video and want more videos, then subscribe to my YouTube channel. Only 8.7% of you had subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe, it will motivate me to make more videos like this. Thank you so much for your attention and participation. Let's continue with the video, Chapter 107 Summary. Joe opened the door to find Mike, Ming's older brother, standing there. Ing, Joe's mother, was surprised but welcomed Mike into their small apartment. Mike looked around, hiding his emotions, then turned to Ing. "Auntie," he said, greeting her. Ing was nervous, as she considered the Yen family to be privileged. "You should be Ming's older brother. You two look very much alike," she said. Mike nodded, then asked Ing if she had met Ming before. Ing confirmed that she had, and Ming was a good boy who had even helped her cook. Ing offered Mike a seat and got him a glass of water, but Mike declined. "Auntie, I have something to say to you," he said. Ing looked at Joe, who signaled for her to sit down. Joe was curious about Ming's current condition but decided to hear what Mike had to say first. Mike looked at Ing with sincerity and apologized for his mother's actions. He explained that his mother had sent the lawyer to see Ing, and he hoped she wouldn't take it to heart. Ing was surprised and didn't know what to say. Mike then told Ing that his mother's lawyer had not told the truth about Joe and Ming's relationship. Mike believed that Ing could see the affection between the two young men. Ying's breathing became labored, and she glanced at Joe painfully. She knew in her heart that the two young men must have feelings for each other. Mike then turned to Joe and asked him to talk alone. Mike explains that Ming has always cared for Joe, even when he thought Joe was dead. Joe is touched by Mike's words and realizes that he has been selfish by only thinking about his own pain and suffering. He wonders who has suffered more between the two of them. Mike tells Joe that Ming has been devastated since his accident and has been insisting that Joe is still alive. Mike advises Joe to make his position clear, as he will persuade his parents to accept their relationship. Joe asks Mike what he would do in his situation, and Mike responds that he would not get involved with someone who brings pain and grief. However, he acknowledges that Joe's situation is different because he loves Ming. Mike reveals that Ming is just downstairs, and Joe asks him to take him to see Ming. Mike looks out the window and responds softly that he will. It is clear that Joe's feelings for Ming are still strong, and he is ready to face the challenges that their relationship may bring. Don't forget to share this video and comment your thoughts about the series. Let's continue with the video, Chapter 108 Summary. Joe hesitated when Mike told him that Ming was waiting downstairs. Mike revealed that his grandfather and father had intervened in their situation, believing that their love would eventually resolve their issues. Ming had been persistent, and Joe felt exhausted from the prolonged struggle. He decided to face Ming. Before going downstairs, Joe reassured Ing, who seemed worried. Joe went outside and saw Ming, who had been waiting for him. Ming offered his coat to Joe, who was only wearing a thin sweater. Joe questioned Ming's intelligence, expressing his frustration about their past suffering. Ming apologized and hugged Joe, who was still hesitant about their relationship's future. Ming expressed his confidence that they were fated to be together, as they had encountered each other in both of Joe's lives. Joe agreed, recalling the coincidences that had led them to meet. Overwhelmed with emotion, Joe made a bold statement, promising to try again despite his past regrets. Ming held Joe tightly, feeling a mix of emotions after waiting for this moment for over 3 years. He vowed to never let go, cherishing their second chance at love. If you want to read the novel, then visit patreon.com/blspoilers. The link will be in the description. Special thanks to my legendary supporters Melanie Harris, Kiera Russell, Rebecca, and Brian Stargell, Chelsea 212, Suzanne 233, Tamara Kumar, MZT, Maria Laubacan, Sharon Fong, Martina Bosankova, S. Armstrong, P. Pri, ed.